Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Aaron, with my co host, Mike. He says hi. We want to thank you all for watching on whatever podcast, videocast, or however streams you happen to be watching it on. And also, remember to get more podcasts and more great content, remember to please subscribe below and also hit that like button. Thanks, everybody.
This is my front patio, right? So yeah.
No, it's good. Excellent. No, so Mike, I want to thank you very much for hopping on. I do appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you.
No, not you. The other Michael.
Oh, sorry. We have
the head
we have a special
referee of
guest
the
tonight.
Jiu Jitsu Ontario. How things been, man? Since obviously the pandemic started, and
Well, basically, what's this? I've just been working from home. The hard part about that is working at home and also managing the house while taking care of my daughter, right? Like I got to make sure that every 5 minutes that she's doing something that's not, breaking things within the house or getting lost outside. I'm kind of happy that I live in a gated community over here, so she gets to run around the neighborhood and just like comes back just for lunch or for dinner or something like that. But other than that, I just make sure that she she knows the stranger danger. She knows how to handle herself. A little bit of self-defense for kids. The three T's. Those are the things that basically I was teaching Ariel to do. But other than that, what's this? I've been eating a lot. I'm no longer in the rooster weight division. Yeah.
Are you moving up to middle heavy or what's your
super
weight class
heavy?
right now?
No.
Super.
No, not that heavy. But basically, I'm at like 145 the last time I checked, right? And I've been working out with my brother. My brother Chris Aviado. He's an M1 world record for bench press, and he's like a power lifter, right? Like sick power lifter. He makes me look stupid in regards to the weights that I'm pushing. I feel like a girl around him. But what I like about the way he's teaching me is basically the way I teach jiu-jitsu. He starts from the very, very basic. He shows me the proper forms of how to lift properly so that you reduce yourself from getting hurt, and also the right muscles are working. I mean, you guys are in the field of like training people, right? So
Yep. Last time I checked.
Last time you checked, yeah. How's that like?
Just hanging out at home right now with the gym closed, But I think hopefully the gym that me and Aaron do not speak of is actually hopefully opening up pretty soon. Maybe by the time this podcast is out to the public.
Well, I heard that it's supposed to open now, like Tuesday, right? So, but in a way, I don't think it's going to be the same. Everyone's going to be social distancing. How can you do social distancing in jiu-jitsu? No such thing.
You can't really.
Yeah. So,
but I get it at the same time. It's just a way to like get your foot in the door and to kind of get things started, and then we can go, hey, look. Nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening. Yeah, we're sneezing on each other, and we're yakking at each other, and still
no one's dying. Can we train now? Yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
But a lot of schools have to work with what they got right now. Sorry, Aaron. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, I think Professor Bruckman actually said it great on a pod. I think it was just a post he put out, and he basically said, he's like, you know what, like, I know that I have the option to open right now, but it's not jiu-jitsu. It's not what I want to do. It's not what I want to give my students. It's not. I don't feel comfortable getting the doors open unless everybody's going to get the experience that I want them to get, right?
Exactly.
And that's him preserving the art for himself, and his students, and how he wants everybody to feel. I think a lot of people feel that way too.
Yeah.
That's why they're kind of like holding off until
they're kind of hesitant, hesitant to open up their gyms, right? Because of the last thing you want is, I heard this from a good friend, last thing you want is to have a super germ factory, like one gym that everyone's infected, just like Like everyone's infected, and they're going to see their families, and they're infecting everybody as well. I mean, it's bad enough that we get the ringworm, right? Imagine with this COVID thing passing around. So I understand the hesitation for businesses to open, and I respect them because of the fact that we can't go against the government. The government right now is mandating that, these gyms have to be closed, or these gyms have to have certain parameters in order for them to operate, right? Now you do something like that, basically you go against to their wishes, they're gonna come down hard on you. They're gonna charge your gym probably $100,000, whatever that fee is, and then everybody else is gonna be monitored, leashed on their phones, right?
You got to fight the power, man.
I get you.
Government, man.
I get you. So those are the things that basically kind of concerns me, and I guess it's also in the minds of business owners, right? So
I get it on both ends. Like it's not the best time to be a small business owner in Canada or even in the world, I would say in general, because no matter what you try to do, if you try to do the right thing, you're losing, and if you try to do the wrong thing, you could lose even more. So
exactly,
you're not in a good spot either way.
We're in a time of a witch hunt. Everyone's witch hunting in regards to who's wearing a mask, or who's
social distancing,
who's racist, who's this, who is that, who is stupid, who is not, whatever,
Well, we know Aaron is, but go on.
But then that's the thing, though. Like, it's because we lost the contact of being with other people, of communicating with each other the proper way, in which you greet people, hi, you say hello, you have beers with them, you shake their hands. Sometimes you give, we're jiu-jitsu people, we like to cuddle and hug people, right? So
slap and bump
stuff. So I get why people are so vexed these days. People are in a witch hunt. We hear bad news happening all over the world in regards to China doing something, and then the WHO doing something else that's always contradicting, and then you hear Trump tweeting one way, and then you hear BLM complaining about another thing. So we've forgotten how to have a civil discourse within each other,
Yeah.
And
we talked about me and Aaron did a solo podcast a while ago, where we were talking about the world needs to be more like an open mat. We've been to several open mats, some of which we've attended together and others. But like, you go to an open mat, like you see people of different walks of life, different colors, skin tones, different genders, different sexual orientations, but or people, complaining and at each other's throats about every little thing in an open mat. No, they're there, you go to have fun, you hang out. None of that, I'm not going to say like, none of that stuff matters, but like in the big picture, we're all a lot more similar than I think people think.
It is a micro community, if you think about it. But you're not gonna defund the police, or you're not gonna defund the enforcers in our gym.
Defund the jiu-jitsu.
Defund the jiu-jitsu enforcer. Like I like having an enforcer once in a while inside inside an open mat. And sometimes what I hate is if I have to be an enforcer. Like
it's not a good place to be. I know.
It's not.
I've experienced that.
I've seen it a bunch of times. I've seen Michael be that enforcer too.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Mike? Oh me?
No, I like Michael Aviado. I've seen.
Yeah, you are. No, you know what?
Go on. We're gonna need to hear a Mike Aviado gym police story real quick.
Like I remember like back in the day, like I can even like attest to like one story myself, right? Because I remember we were at I think it was a Professor Shaw seminar or something like that, and I guess one guy didn't pay, or he hadn't paid yet.
Where's my money? Where's my money?
He hadn't paid yet, and so Professor Matt McDonald goes, "Okay, hey Aaron, see that guy? put him out. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I'm like, he's like,
green light.
he's
You
like,
got the green light.
you got the green light. I'm like, you serious? He's like, yeah, do it. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
You know, like, go get him on the next roll, right? Slap hands. Okay, start going. Put him in a triangle and just hold him in a triangle. He taps. I'm like, and then I look over at Matt, and Matt's like, keep going. I'm like, okay.
No, that's
Put
Papi
him out.
Loco, man.
And then Papi Loco, and they put him out, and the guy wakes up. He's like, "Yo, man, I knew I tapped." I'm like, "Sorry, man, I didn't feel it."
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then basically, there's also like, remember the old school rules? If you catch somebody with choke, with the same choke 3 times, the third time they have to go to sleep. No more tapping, right? Like that was the rule.
That's just mean.
It is mean. It is mean. But then, if you didn't learn from the first or the second submission, right? Come on, the third is coming at you right there and then.
Yeah.
You should know to defend it. But then,
Aaron, how many times should I put you out by now for using that rule?
Probably a couple.
Couple times.
Yeah, that's why we don't have that rule right now.
You know what? That's a dick rule. It's an old school rule. Well, I kind of enjoy it and I kind of miss it, but then we now live in a PC culture, right? So
what do you do if you're rolling with a white belt and you just keep trying something repeatedly? Well, you should have knew that, man. Well, I'm gonna put you out the third time. That's just too bad. I think there has to be maybe a rule. Like you have to be rolling with somebody who's like maybe an equal belt level than you, for example, or like at least some sort of equal skill. Like I'm not gonna go as a brown belt. I'm gonna pick like a white belt. And they're like first month of training and just keep putting them unconscious over and over again. That's just me.
That mentality has changed. Professor Marco said it himself that basically what you need to do is respect the tap. Respect the tap because you might never know.
You do.
You know, like you got him in a triangle and he's tapping. Next thing you know, he has a seizure kind of thing, right? So you don't want that to happen. This is my little daughter.
Hello.
You just had your daughter do a run in on.
Hey, hi.
She's a unicorn today.
Yeah, she is a unicorn today.
Bye.
I've had my kid do a run in several times, so it's okay.
Exactly. No.
So Mike, you've been training for a while. Like, how long have you been training for? And when did you first get started with Professor Marco?
Well, I started in, I think, the late 2007, around like, I think November or December. I only went for like 1 or 2 classes at that time. But then that first class, I couldn't wait for the next class, right? Basically, it was around 2008 that I was consistently training with Professor Marco. Also, during that time, it was a weird time because like I was in the middle of a midlife crisis at that time. You know,
you started training and you were 40 at the time already?
No, 35. 35. Well, that's still midlife crisis to me, you know, because during that time I was like about 170 pounds, smoking 2 to 3 packs a day. I was just, you know, I thought I was in shape. I thought I was like, you know, I thought I was like big or something like that. Well, I was fat, but then within 3 minutes of rolling, didn't last that 3 minutes. I was heaving and I left a pool of nicotine sweat on the floor. Okay? And I remember Marco just smacked me in the head and says like, stop wheezing, right? So I was like breathing so hard. It was a tough time, but what I liked about it is basically it hooked me. It hooked me because like I thought I know what I was doing. I thought I could handle myself because I got into stupid street fights back then when I was a kid, and I thought that, you know, little bluff and bluster can go a long way. It doesn't. The mats will always tell you who you are, you know. And it told me at that time how much of a weak little bitch I was. And that's it, you know. But then also after that, you know, I got curious in regards to like how good am I doing in jiu-jitsu, right? And what's this? I remember the time in which Marco taught me just one choke when I was just a white belt, which is like the Ezekiel choke. Okay, and then for like a month, I was killing everybody. I was tapping everybody. I was tapping. I almost put out Batman. You know, he was a purple belt.
Oh
Batman,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was put him out. I put out what's this? My little ninja. Who's that? I forgot his name. But and then also I was getting Pierce and what's this and Max, and finally Marco turns around after a month. He goes, "Okay, this is how you get out of it." I was like, I had to start over again. I have to look for another submission, and so I gravitated to arm bars. You know, so it came. You know, hand in hand. You go for the choke, the hands extend. You go for the arm bar, and vice versa. You know, if they retract their hands, you go for the choke. So those are the kind of things that basically made me like realize, like, hey, you know, jiu-jitsu is an awesome sport, you know, that even I can do, because before back then I was doing taekwondo. um, it was good. It's good, but not good for my size. You know, I would get out punched or out kicked because of the height advantage. I'm sorry to say, I'm a short guy. I'm like only 5'2", and versus the people that I'm fighting, who's about my age, are like fucking like 6 feet tall. So what am I supposed to do?
You got to
So
get inside. That's what you got
yeah,
to
you
do.
try getting inside. That means you're gonna get hit a lot before getting inside. It's like, okay,
So what
even if
you're saying is Taekwondo may not be the best sport for you.
not the best sport at all for me. Well, what's to say? What I liked about it is it taught you footwork. It taught you how to move in angles. Taught you how to gauge distance from against an enemy. Right? You have to like. But then again, I kind of see the same thing as well in jiu-jitsu, especially when I'm fighting. Like you, Mike. You got like a long ass guard. You as well, Aaron. You guys got long legs, right? So you
Aaron has a
basically.
guard.
My guard's pretty good. Fuck you.
Sorry, I was just double checking.
But then
But yeah, you know, like I think in jiu-jitsu especially, you use your attributes, right? So like,
yes.
I think somebody like you, for example, who may be, to put it nicely, vertically challenged,
Just say I'm
would
short, man.
yeah, okay. So you being shorter, that's going to allow you to apply different techniques probably more efficiently versus someone like myself who's a little bit taller. Well, I'm going to use more like range guards. So like let's say like Delahiva guard, I'm able to push somebody away versus you. If you want to play like a deep half guard, you can just go right under people, or like a
Deep
reverse
half- well-
Delahiva and spin under really quick, and you know, stuff like that where you're able to get. I think a lot of sweeps where you try to dive under somebody really quickly would be very effective for somebody. Yeah,
That's true. Well, first things first. Basically, like as a smaller competitor and a smaller jiu-jitsu practitioner, I always try to find the fastest way out of their guard, or fastest way passing the guard, right? And my advice for like a smaller practitioners is basically find the path to the back, but take any limb along the way. Okay, find the path to the back, take any limb along the way. So basically, like if I'm gonna I want to try to get to your back, because the back to me is like the part where you have no defense once the person gets on your back. Hardly any defense, right? No, what you need to do is basically try to survive, try to peel off arms, try to peel off the legs, try to scrape them off the ground or off the floor or on the walls, whatever the material would be. Now, so if you're there, what you also need to do is basically if you're smaller than the bigger person that you're fighting, you have to get into either a not half guard, a side control or a north-south position as much as possible. Okay, because from there you gotta keep yourself away from the guard. If the guard is there, you're gonna have a hard time. Okay. Also, basically, like as you said, I like going for deep halves. I like going for waiter sweeps. I like going for X guard. I like to be under a leg instead of under a body. If I'm under a leg, I'm safer than being under the body. I mean, last thing you want is like to have like Professor Jason sitting on you, you know, Panda, you know, like that's the worst thing. I hate it when he just like has a half guard on you and he's putting like full 250 pounds on you, because crushing you across from shoulder to hip. There's nothing you can do, and you're trying to look for those micro transitions in which you could put your elbow through into the belly kind of thing in order for you to escape, to shrimp out. It's so difficult. It's so difficult, you know. But always keep moving. Try to find the path to the back. You know, take any limbs along the way, and go for positions in which you know you're not carrying their full weight, in which you could tip them over. And that's my advice for them.
So, like, when you kind of like obviously started getting more involved in jiu-jitsu, did that competition like kind of just trip into you? You're like, okay, I just want to compete from now on, or was that kind of like something you kind of got forced into, and then you kind of hooked the bug?
Something like that. Well, one thing I knew growing up, like I was never good at anything. I was not good in like any sports that I could think of. You know, either I'm too short for it or too different in regards to my athletic process. I can't throw a ball as far as like a tall pitcher or something like that. I can't dribble or shoot a basketball or dunk or anything like that. So I never really got into any sports that I could see any progress in, right? Then I found jiu-jitsu, and I'm like thinking, wow, you know, like I felt like not only was I working out, I was developing a skill. And then it came to a point where, you know, like after a while, it's like, you know what, this is pretty fun. This is enjoyable. What would competition be like doing this? You know, I needed to feel the butterflies. I needed to feel what it's like to compete in a sport that I just got into, because I was competing as well in in Taekwondo. In the beginning parts, basically I was doing well, but then, as I said, right, after a while, your physical attributes take into place. With jiu-jitsu, it didn't matter anymore in regards to my physical attributes. You know, I could be short, I could be tall, I could be skinny, I could be fat. As long as I'm able to move and apply the technique properly, then it works. Now, how do I put that into theory of competing? Yeah, that's what I did. Basically, as a white belt, after like, I think 3 to 6 months, I think we did you were there, I think, Aaron. We were at, the first symposium, I think it was at Fight Scholar.
Oh, and like up in like Scarborough or whatever it was.
Fight Scholar, right?
Now, was this your first tournament for both of you?
That was my first tournament. But you were there from Orangefield Dojo, right?
No, I was there from Etobicoke Dojo.
Etobicoke?
Paulo.
Yeah, oh, Paulo. So, like, yeah. You were with Paulo.
I was with Paulo at the time. And so like the Orangeville guys were all there and all that kind of jazz. And we had that symposium. I think that was like symposium, the first one or second one.
The first one. I think that was the first one that we were at. And
the first big one. Yeah. And it was at Fight Scholar, what it was called. Yeah. And I think that's where I first met like you. I had met Professor Marco before, but like through the other in-house, because we used to have in-house tournaments at University of Toronto at one point too. So they were like in-house deals or whatever, which were actually pretty good. They were pretty good athletic competitions. Everybody got like 5-6 fights or whatever, which was fun. But yeah, I remember that.
But the scoring was kind of rudimentary. They didn't like people really didn't know how to score. But then you pretty much know who's winning, right? Like I don't think anybody there felt like, oh, this guy cheated me and everything else. Nobody knew the rules, right? We just know take down the person, pass the guard to side control, and stop the person. That's it.
It's pretty straightforward. If you take somebody down, mount them and choke them. Like, there's no dispute. I should have had that advantage for no. You got mounted and like crushed. Like you lost.
But people were like, doing turnovers, and people were giving points for it and everything else. And we didn't care. All we wanted to do is just win. That's it.
This is like the end of the dark ages of like jiu-jitsu, and I think in Ontario we had Tony Isaacs on a couple of episodes ago. We were talking about like the evolution. Dan Maroney, we had him on. We were talking about like the evolution of tournaments.
Mhm.
And so I think you were competing towards like the end of that. They were talking about like Jocelyn's and what was going on
Yep,
there.
yep,
And
yep,
Yeah.
yep. That was like I think Jocelyn's was one of those tournaments that I wish I jumped in, like wish I knew about it or something like that. That was like
that was my first tournament.
Jocelyn's, yeah.
Yeah, Jocelyn's. I took a guy down and I got guillotined in like 30 seconds. I was just
We all
like the spazziest like white belt wrestler, like jumping around, and I did like I fake high, and then like I just like dove at his legs, and I shot with like my head down, and he basically just caught my head.
high elbowed, man.
Instantly.
Seriously,
Pretty much, it was just instant like world's worst double leg that I got. He kind of like half pulled guard and half like, okay, well I'm just gonna choke you now.
I got you. Yeah, but from that as well, basically, from that tournament in Fight Scholar, then we had started having symposiums or basically seminars in belt gradings, right? The other one that we had was in Orangeville. I think, yeah,
Oh yeah. They rented the gym or something like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
and we had that tournament. Then after that, right, like there wasn't any major tournaments at that time. There was like a tournament every 6 months, I think, at that time.
hmm
And so, in between those times, what did we do in order to to get better and also to compete, right? And that's when the zombie leagues came in, right? You remember the zombie
Oh,
leagues, right?
I remember
Those were
Zombie
the
League.
crazy.
I think I did. I think I did one of those as well.
Yeah. Well, what I liked about the Zombie League is basically it started off like very, very small, but it grew very organically within the Franco Bearing team. And then we started asking other people from different gyms to start jumping in, to come in and try it out. What I like about that rule set is like it's a crazy rule set, right? A crazy rule set because it's kind of mixed between Grappling Industries, which has round robin fights, and also just because you tap the person once in the fight, that doesn't mean it stops there. No, you keep going. You reset. You keep going.
I think I remember the rules. I think so it was divided by weight class. So
Yes.
it's divided by weight class, but it's open belt. So like you
Open
can be a
belt.
white belt. You could be a white belt competing with a black belt. But then
Yeah.
I think there was also like a handicap in a way. So like
Yes.
if you're a higher belt, I think you would get less points for a submission versus like if you were like a white or a blue belt, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
For the people that are at home and listening to this, do you remember, like, do you guys remember, for both of you, like the rule set? Because I remember it was a very unique one that I did a long time ago and actually enjoyed it a lot.
yeah, no. Basically, how it worked out was, let's say if you were a white belt and you were fighting a white belt, the points were even, so it would be 1 for 1, right? But if it was like white belt versus blue belt, it was the white belt tapped out the blue belt, the white belt would get like 2 points. If the blue belt tapped out the white belt, they would only get a half point, right?
Yeah.
Like it's somewhere around those lines. And let's just say if it was like a white belt versus a black belt, and the black belt got tapped out by the white belt would get 10 points. Or 5 points. Yeah, 5 points.
Like
and then if the black belt tapped out the white belt, it was like 1/5 of a point or something like that. So the black belt had to tap out,
tap
like
as much as they can.
like and it was a 5-minute match duration, so it kept going for full 5 minutes. So basically, the timer goes, everybody goes. They had like 5-6 mats going at once, music going, and then you had scores, right? So you would just keep score of who got what. Right, and then at the end of that, let's say the round robin, whoever had the most amount of points would win that division.
And then go to the golden sub.
Yeah, the golden, yeah.
The golden subs.
Go ahead, just explain the golden sub.
The golden subs are basically like no time limit. Tap the guy and then go advance to the next, to the next round. But then it's also an absolute division, right? It's an absolute division of like 5 minute 5 rounds, right? So it's crazy. So basically, like every match or every tournament, you're almost guaranteed. If you did the golden sub, you need at least 10 fights to get the gold. right?
I want to ask you guys just for fun, like, was that your favorite rule set, or like, what's another rule set that you guys have competed in or seen where you're like, oh, like that's interesting, I'd like to try that, or I really liked competing in that?
Okay. You guys go ahead. Tell me.
Like, I enjoyed that rule set. I thought that was a great rule set for beginners, right? So they would get lots of fights in there and get lots of experience, and it was all for fun because it was in-house based and all that kind of stuff, right? So I thought that was, and it gets a different mindset as far as like competition goes. My favorite rule set that I competed in was the no time limit submission only.
Yes,
US grappling.
Yes, US grappling.
That was my favorite.
That was amazing.
Was it just set the timer, go, and then when the person gets submitted, the match is over?
You can have a 45 minute to an hour and 30-minute matches, man. But that was
it was a great tournament. They had it set up perfectly because they had just some right amount of competitors, and like it wasn't over like. It wasn't like 500 people there, right? I think there's probably like 100, maybe 200 people, right? The weight divisions were set up properly, and it was just go, go, go. So you get some matches that lasted 30 seconds and some that lasted 10 minutes and some longer, and it was a great tournament. I love that rule set.
That was the best time when we went there, invaded, Albany, New York.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was just like 5 of us. It was like you, Aaron, Roya, it was Milky, me, and then who's this? Max.
Max came with us. Yeah.
So
I think he mentioned a long time ago that was like one of his favorite tournaments as well.
That was
US like, grappling sub only.
Yeah, sub only is pretty fun. I mean, you have to have like a different kind of mindset. So either you want to finish the person so that you could breathe as fast as you want to finish the person as fast as possible so you can breathe, or you wait him out. You pretend to give him like something for him to try and choke you out with, or like you bait them out. You wait them out until they're finally tired, then you start going. But then there's gonna be ebbs and tides in fights like that. The first 10 minutes is like wild. Next 5 minutes is like everyone's breathing and just holding on to a side control. Then another 2 minutes is like a wild, escape, and then finally somebody gives up, or just gets caught. Oh, that was a fun tournament. That. But what other rule sets do I like? I do like ADCC rules. Okay, but what's this?
I do too, because I think it's a good mix of submission only and points. I mean, you get the best, because there's drawbacks. I think with both, you can have some. Don't get me wrong, you can have some extremely boring point score matches, and you can have some extremely boring submission only matches where they're taking their sweet time to set things up, or both people are playing extra cautious. I also think like you don't want to just be like, okay, like this person's gonna pass my guard 75 times and I'm just gonna like throw up random submissions and go. I think there needs to be a balance, and I think I like the ADCC rule set a lot for that reason. I'm even thinking, because I like the EBI rule set as well. The one thing sometimes is when it does go to overtime, and I've had examples of this where like someone's just getting absolutely mauled for that time limit, and then they're just able to,
wait it out.
They just like squeeze somebody on their back. So they basically win by like not getting killed and just like holding on for dear life when they have somebody's back. So they're not really mounting any offense yet. I've seen examples of that, but I like that rule set as well. I would just wish there was a way to kind of maybe push the overtime a little bit more, if that makes sense.
I get you. Another rule set that I do like is basically the parabellum rules.
Yes.
Parabellum rules, yes. It's like, no points, but you know who's winning, okay? And then at the end, I think they have the EBI rule in which either you start off in a spider web or you have the backpack, right?
Yep.
So I do like that, but then people tend to play it the way they play EBI. If I can't beat you in regular time, I'm gonna try and beat you in overtime submissions, right? So I don't like that part. I think you should only put that EBI rule when it's a real tie. But
Yes, I agree.
if one guy is, you could see he's getting crushed, getting dominated, getting passed, getting, like a couple of submissions that attempts onto that person. That's the person pushing the pace. I think that the person that's pushing the pace should win more than the person that's being defensive.
I agree. That was actually a suggestion I made to Rory. That's another person I want to get on here as well to talk about the rule set more. That was because I suggested to him, I think if it goes to like a judge's decision, it has to be
3 judges. Make it 3 judges to me.
Yes. 3 judges. They have to be unanimous for the winner. If it's a split, then you do let's say an EBI overtime. That's what I suggested. So if it's let's say two said you, one said Aaron, then it would be an overtime, because it wasn't very for it to be a pretty split decision. It would have to be a pretty back and forth or.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah, there has to be a good balance in regards to a person trying to go for the kill, or a person that's just winning just on advantages or winning on just positions. I like a person who's always going for the kill, right? So
absolutely,
yeah.
The way jiu-jitsu should be done. One thing I wanted to ask, we touched on being smaller in jiu-jitsu and strategy for that, but you started jiu-jitsu as a older individual, shall we say. You started at 35, and you weren't competing in masters. You were competing in adult at the time. So you're competing at adult up into I think you were
until they put in a masters division. I was about
they didn't even have masters
39.
Yeah, you're competing there till and you're competing as people half your age. So for the people that are older and all washed up like me and Aaron, what are your advice to them when it comes to you're older, you're competing against younger guys, or just training in general now that you're older? What's some wisdom you can impart onto us?
Okay, know when to tap. That's I'm not joking. A lot of people,
unless you get caught 3 times in a submission, then that
doesn't work anymore, man. So you're going to sleep, man. You're going to sleep. That's it, But yeah, you have to know when to tap. One of the things, I know it's training. I don't care if you're a white belt and tap me out. I don't care if you're a blue belt. I'm gonna get you back though. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna do my best to get you back. But those are the things that I know for sure from experience, right? That knowing when to tap, and also choose your partners. Choose your partners. You see, if a guy comes up to you, he's pumped up already on pre-workout, you see zits popping in his face, and he's like, I want to roll with you, Mike, I want to roll with you. For sure that, first send in an enforcer to that guy, tire him out, get Jay and towards him. And then after that, you want to roll, come. Okay, then you roll with them. That's one. Learn how to, I have, somebody said this about me, that basically, I'm not fun to roll with because I don't give anything. Okay?
Who says you have to give anything?
I don't give anything.
That's a rule.
I know.
Rule?
You have to learn, in order for you to get better as well, sometimes you have to open up. Okay? You have to open up your game so that you can learn. You can learn how to defend certain positions, or also when you open up, you're opening up because of the fact that that's your only choice of escape. Okay, so those are the things that I guess that I instill in me. Other than that, you got to put in the work ethic. You got to put in the work ethic of working hard. When I started off with once a week. Then after 2 to 3 weeks of that, I started going 2 times a week. Then after that, it grew into 3 times a week. Then when I started competing, that's when I'm going 5 times a week. And then every time I'm going for a competition, for the first 2 months, I make sure that that's the first 2 months. The first month is going to be basically break your body down. That means you're going to exercise, you're going to lift weights, you're gonna do your wrestling, you're gonna do your drilling, you're gonna do your your guard passing. You gotta do everything that you need in order for you to to acclimate to acclimate both to your weight and acclimate both to your proficiency of doing jiu-jitsu against a person, right? Then the second month, now that's when you start planning for diets, and also watching your water intake level, and also making sure that that second month is still hard training. And then the last month in leading into it, I think basically the last 2 weeks, you don't roll. I don't roll. I just make sure that I drill, and just do my isometrics, and also weightlifting, and that's it. But for people like older people getting into it, I do notice that jujitsu is for older people. The average age of a white belt, I think, is like 28, and the average age of a blue belt grappler, I think, is 32. So by gauging those stats, right? You could basically tell that this is an old man sport. This is meant for older people who are more mature, who plans in their head. They're not just hitting the balls, stepping in, stepping right. They're not just trying to dunk the ball or passing the ball to other people. No, you have to think of it like chess, right? And the people that are that I do see that are into medicine, into computers, into nerdy stuff, right? Those are the ones that really do well in jiu-jitsu because of their problem-solving skills. They're able to translate that. Now, for an older gentleman coming in, right? Those are the things that basically you have to look upon yourself. What's your goal going in? Are you there to lose weight? Are you there to learn a skill? Are you there because you want to be competitive? Those are different things. And the thing about it is, like, you could go through all three stages just by doing jiu-jitsu. You start off like, I just want to do this for a hobby. Hey, I'm losing weight. Hey, I'm getting stronger in this one. Hey, I could kick his ass. Maybe that guy's like calling me out. Now I want to kick his ass. So those are the things that happens, right, in jiu-jitsu. So I've seen, and there's people at our gym who's 75 years old. 75 years old and doing jiu-jitsu. And I'm so proud of this gentleman, I think Alex, at our gym. This guy, looks like Mr. Burns, okay? But this guy can move, okay? He's 75 years old, and yet he's able to do the techniques. He's able to do the scissor sweep into an X choke, into an armbar, So that's my advice to, I guess, older people. It's never too late. Never too late. Because if you asked me back then, would I ever amount to anything with jiu-jitsu? I'd say fuck no. Fuck no. I'm just here to have fun. I'm just here. I'm losing weight. It made me quit smoking. That's all. Little did I know. Like, if you asked me back then, if I would have amounted to anything in doing jiu-jitsu, fuck. I wouldn't believe it.
I think it's pretty amazing how you say, like, you wouldn't believe it, but if you actually, and again, you would know better than I, but I just see, like, the thing that I've seen where you've won numerous competitions, especially at the world level, IBJJF, like blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and black belt, all masters tournaments, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, plus you've also done the quintet. You've also had a lot of other achievements. Like, that's pretty impressive, man. Like, for a guy, again, like you said, your age, but always consistently competing at the highest level, and again, competing and winning.
Not bad for Tito Mike.
Yeah, Tito Mike, right? Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say in regards to that. I think I just came from a family of late bloomers, right? My younger brother never really competed in anything else as well. He didn't think. He just got into powerlifting and started lifting weights, and next thing you know, he's like Holy shit, man, I'm pushing 350 pounds. Holy shit, I'm deadlifting 420 pounds. Things like that are crazy numbers. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, right? And he even said it himself. Like, if you asked me back then when I started lifting and what's his goal or something like that, he wanted to just look good. He didn't think that he would end up like winning his titles as well. And the same thing with me. I never thought that I never thought of like winning world champions like this, or these kinds of events. I just know that I love this. I just love competing, like I love the butterflies. I love the preparation. I love being like a mean bastard before the fight, like don't talk to me. I'm just like focused. I'm just like doing my drills. You see me, right? Like I have my thing on. I'd be like this. Don't talk to me. Hey, how's up going? I'm like, I'm just breathing and just focusing, concentrating and on my next fight. And that's it, I guess I got lucky. And it's also, when you think about it, I think it's I was just at the right place at the right time in everything that leads up to it. I was just at the right place at the right time. If I feel like I'm not at the right place, I shouldn't be there, then I wouldn't have competed. Well, fuck no, I probably would, but
So obviously, like, going through all those competitions and now being more like as an official, right? Like with the OJA, like you get to see it all at firsthand now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you feel like kind of like taking a step back from the competition side and then going more into the efficient side?
It's both. You know what? It goes hand in hand. I wanted to become a ref so I could cheat, basically. Cheat. Not really cheat, but knowing the rule set. Knowing the rules.
I thought you did it to help the Ontario Jiu Jitsu community.
Fuck no, man. Seriously, fuck them. Not just joking.
That's why, if anybody is listening, I am here as a servant to the Ontario. No, fuck that. I just want to get rid of it. Anyways, go on.
Exactly. My main goal of becoming a ref at that time was basically I wanted to know the rules. I wanted to understand why I got those points, why I didn't get those points. How could I get more points? How could I put how to learn how to sell your moves, right? And you know how you do it. You take the person down, you give the ref the look or something like that. He gives a call and you give him that look, and you sure you're right about that?
I think I remember you looking at me for points as I was reffing a match. You're giving me like the death cold, like Filipino stare of like, I'm going to eat your soul unless you give me these 2 points.
These 2 points, these things. And the thing about it's like, what's so, like, that was my goal. I wanted to learn the ins and outs. And I wanted to be able to call the points as it is, because even now I still am learning on how to become a better ref, right? And the same way as all of us, so we're trying to become better jiu-jitsu artists as well, right? So we study, we plan, we try to execute, we implement that in our games, and so things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think refereeing has probably helped you. I think with probably competition strategy, mindset.
Very much.
It's helped me a lot as well, because I relate it to like basketball. I tell a lot of the guys at the gym that we do not speak of on here that how do you win in jiu-jitsu? It's like we'll compare it to basketball, for example. Like if you don't know how to score, or you don't know what a 3-pointer is,
what are fouls?
What are fouls? How do you know how to win? Like, how do you know how to win a match besides
exactly.
arm barring a guy, right? Like, you need to know how to score. That's basically what I try to tell people as well. And I think if you're going to be like any sort of competitor, I think you have to, invest a little bit in just reffing and knowing the rules, because that gives, and it's also different than just reading the rule book and going, oh, well, I know the rules. It's like, okay, well, how do you apply them? Because you can see at tournaments, where's the points for side control, ref?
Exactly.
And I'm looking at them like, do you
Did you
did you read it in
pass?
Portuguese, in English,
Yeah.
or like what's wrong with you? Like then you don't get points for that. But what are some, because me and you we've been up and down the road a lot. We refed a lot of tournaments. What are some of, and I think it's also it's fun as well. You know, you get to meet and see a lot of different people. What are some of your memories of traveling and going to different tournaments, venues, cities?
Okay. I guess what do you mean in regards to being an official or
In
being a
regards to
competitor?
being an official, or anything that just stands out, or any interesting stories that come to mind.
No, there's lots, but I can't say it here. There's lots. It's fun going on the road kind of thing, right? Also, like you get to meet different competitors. You know, I like going to Montreal. They got really really good competitors down there. I gotta give shout outs to people in like the people in the 10th Planet, all the way to people in what's this Carlson Gracie's. You know, yeah, and also the BTT crew. They're sick crew. Like these people are like, you know, I feel sorry for them that they can't even do tournaments for like the last 2 years because of their provincial provincial red tape, whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah. We talked about that before. They need to figure out something besides doing like tournaments on the border of like Hawkesbury or like outlaw mud shows or whatever. Like they need to, instead of just going like, we're going to go right across the border to Ontario, do a tournament in the middle of nowhere.
I think this is the last. No, this wasn't it. This is the 2012 Naga one, right? That's where
Naga.
that's where I met you, Mike, for the first time.
A young Mike Briers.
Young Mike Briers.
A lightweight. No, I wasn't a lightweight at the time, but I did that. I think it was one of the tournaments I saw. I'm like, who's this 40-year-old who looks like they're 12 that's just armbarring everybody?
No, I think I was there with Greg King, right? Yeah, he and I went there, and then after that tournament, like we got these bunch of boxes of Zion's power drink. Yeah, and then
they were giving them out by like the case.
Yeah,
I think
we were getting cases. And what we did is basically we got a bottle of Jägermeister or something like that. We started making Jäger bombs, and they had a parade in Montreal. And Greg and I were like, dang, we're like so drunk after the tournament. I was walking around with my belt over here, like my NAGA belt. Yeah, it was
like
so
a professional
fun.
wrestler, like walking around. I love those Naga belts.
I love those Naga belts. You know, I wish that the OJA would make more belts like that.
Did we lose?
Huh? Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I think we just lost you for a second.
Yeah, so those are the times. Like, to me, going to Montreal is always fun. Vegas is wild. Vegas is wild because the thing about it is like you go to Vegas. Well, if I'm going to Vegas, I know for sure I'm competing in the World's Masters, and during that time for like until I fight, you are like so focused. You cannot eat. You are like no offense, don't mean to be sexist, like a girl, because all you talk about is your weight and what we're eating and what are you gonna wear and things like that. You know, like you're irritable. You feel like I don't know how it feels, but it feels like it's a PMS kind of thing because you're snapping at people, you know. And then you fight. After you fight, you go buck wild. Like fuck it, man.
Woo, freedom!
Yeah, it is. That's the part that I do enjoy. You know, like it felt like win or lose, you worked hard for that beer.
You enjoy the PMS or the cheesecake?
The cheesecake, not the PMS.
Okay, just checking.
No.
It's just like I've had that experience at work. You're training, you're dieting, you're everything.
You're
and then
miserable. You're miserable. You're actually miserable for the 2 to 3 months. Okay, 2 to 3 months. Then after that, you know, like you're partying with the friends that you competed with or the people that you went to the tournament with, right? So like it's a great feeling. I got to spend time with like Professor Marco, with my other teammates. Who's that? Milkias, all the people from Body of Four, you know, that competed with me. And that's it. You know.
So when you kind of look at like all the things that you've accomplished, like what's the one BJJ accomplishment that really stands out to you? If there's one that you can kind of think of.
He's trying to count up all his world titles. Hold on.
It's hard. It's hard because each one has its own, like I guess the one that's really, really memorable that was 2017. 2017 was when I got my black belt, and it was a surprise because I got it on the podium, right? I got it in the podium of the World's Masters. Like, Marco just comes up to me, and I was just in tears. Like, I felt like a little bitch crying and complaining about, like I can't believe I'm getting this right now. I thought that was just as soon as I won that, we're all just gonna celebrate and then just go home. And then once I'm home in December, I'm gonna get my belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he surprised me like that. It's like, whoa. It's such an honor for me to get a belt that way. And so that's what's really memorable for me. And I got to spend it with like really good friends of mine, right? I couldn't memorable moment,
Yeah, I think that's a hard one to beat. It's a big one.
It's hard. And the people that I fought are no slouches either. Like they've been around for a while. Like I looked at their resumes or something like that of the people they fought. It's no joke. It's no joke. And then last year at the World's Nogi, holy fuck, man, seriously, like I was like really, really taken aback at that one because of how tough the fights were. Well, because I was fighting at a heavier weight class. Nobody was in my division, so I moved up to light feather, and I'm looking at these people. It's like, holy shit, you're like a head and a half taller than me, right? So, but yeah, those were memorable times. Yeah.
Amazing.
And
so,
go on.
No, go. You were gonna say something, so
yeah,
I want to hear it.
Because you know what, jiu-jitsu has given me a lot. As much as I trained, met the people, like it's given me a lot. It's given me like a sense that I could love myself again, that because like many times people would look in the mirror and say like, fuck man, seriously, I need to change this, I need to change that, I look at this flab over here kind of thing, and you're always so critical of the things that you've done. You must like, I know myself, I look at the mirror like, fuck, how could you be so fucking stupid? How could you have done that? Or how could you like miss this, miss that? And I had to be honest with myself, right? On how fucked up I have done. I have to be accountable for myself. But jiu-jitsu made me really accountable to myself, to the point that I started doing good things, and I'm able to give back good things. And that's when it started coming back. And then, you start to love your flaws, who you are. I don't care if I'm short. I don't care if I'm fat. I don't care if I'm this and that or something like that, because I could fucking kick your ass. That's how it felt. Like that's that kind of confidence. You can't really put a monetary figure on that. You can't really put. That's an experience that I know for sure that I will always cherish. And I want to give that back to other people as well. I like it when my students come and go, Professor, man, the move didn't work. The move didn't work, but it actually did, right? So those are fun things. What jiu-jitsu has done for me.
No, I think that's fantastic, and like you're given to that next person that might have been in the same position you were when you were 35, 36, and you're giving them the tools that you've already experienced. Is like, hey, I've gone through it. I've already done this. I've made those mistakes. You can do X, you can do this, you can do that. So I think that's amazing. And it also talks about, like, what's the next steps for you? Like, that's the other thing. It's like, where does Mike want to see himself grow moving forward?
Well, to tell you the truth, basically, like right now I'm enjoying teaching. There is a class, right? But I enjoy teaching because like I'm able to give back to the people that I'm able to give back to the community or give back to jiu-jitsu by propagating it to people, right? I love the fact that I get to see I got nerds come into my class, okay? Nerds, like people that you look at them like, the hell is he doing it here? He's gonna get killed, right? But they stuck it out. They stuck it out. They keep trying. They keep getting better and better. And the better that they get, like I see their confidence in their face. I see the demeanor has changed. The way that they walk. They walk like gods now compared to the way they walked before. Before I had people like passing out in my class, like, oh, professor, oh, boom, they just fall on the floor because they're so exhausted, right? And then next thing you know, they're in their 20th row and say, professor, who's next? I said, come here, you're next.
Nice. We've put a poll out, and the number one question that was asked was, when is your podcast making a comeback?
No, I never had a podcast.
I thought you had a podcast with Greg King. This is what
we were
the people
planning.
want to
Okay,
know.
no, I understand. I understand what you're saying in regards to that. A lot of people have reached out to me in regards to that too as well. It's just our time, because he's also what he calls he's also a teacher, and he holds his own school, and he has his marketing company running around. I'm the same way, and I got this little
one running around as well.
Little one right here, like, bugging me all the time. So it's difficult time for us to be able to come up with any ideas or ways of continuing the King and Mouse show. We had some we already have a script written, or basically just a format of how it's supposed to be. Yeah. And then what's this it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, because also one of the things I told was this Greg, that if we do this, who's gonna edit everything else? Who's gonna put it onto the web? Who's gonna...
Aaron will. He edits everything here. He does all the work. I compare it to the script of Good Will Hunting. He is Matt Damon, who's typing the whole thing. And I'm Ben Affleck sitting on the couch smoking pot.
Basically how I feel.
So you just need to find your Matt Damon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a matter of time. But it's still in the back burner, so we'll see. We'll see, because I really want to do something with Greg.
We'll get a podcast network going, just like Joe Rogan does, and you'll be the first one we'll contact to get one of those going.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aaron. Go ahead.
No, because I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember the whole concept of it. What was it? Just like a simple podcast with you guys, or like how was it?
Actually, my concept of it's supposed to be something like Wayne's World. Okay. The concept has to be Wayne's World. We start doing a jiu-jitsu, podcast like that. If we start doing it, it's gonna get buried. It's gonna get buried. And what's this? I think in a way a podcast would be better, because you have so much content you could just rant, right? But with the King and Mouse show, I want it to be something almost like a podcast, but we talk shit about each other,
Thanks for telling me and Aaron that we have no chance whatsoever at succeeding.
No. The idea of podcast, though, is you have to make as much content as possible. Right?
No, absolutely.
You have to make as much content as possible, and you have to basically get a proper following. A proper following of the people that you wanted to target. So you can't just limit it on just jiu-jitsu, because it's such a niche market, right? You have to include everything in the grappling community, everything in the MMA community, everything that's happening around the world in regards to jiu-jitsu. Imagine, okay, what do you think of what happened with Ricardo de la Riva? Okay. Ricardo de la Riva right now is being charged, or basically one of her female students is putting a charge on him that he molested her or something like that, or he tried something on her. I don't know the story or something like that. But But based upon that, what he did is like what I heard and what I read on online is that he kicked out all his female students in his association. I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
I heard in the academy. I don't know about the entire association, but in the
Mhm.
academy, I know
In the
that.
academy, whatever, like things like that are like very, very it's those are topics, hard topics that we should talk about. Are those things happening right now? Like, look at what happened with the Lloyd Irvin saga stories of crazy things that happened there. You hear it also in other academies that a couple of instructors are like advancing towards their students. That's not good.
No, it's not. These are definitely topics that me and Aaron want to discuss on. We've done a lot of like one-on-ones between me and him, and those are definitely things that we want to talk about as well.
Yeah. And so, like, in order for, I guess, for people to pay attention to podcasts like ours, so it's basically to talk about the hard stuff. Talk about the hard stuff that's happening right now. Like, one of the things that just the top of my head, a friend of mine just reminded me, Professor Roberto Ori. He talked about the rainbow belt for gay people. Like, I'm sorry to say, this is a martial art. We don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. We're gonna fucking choke you anyways. So why are you gonna put on a rainbow belt? The same thing as well in regards to a pink belt. There's only like five major belts in jiu-jitsu. You're white, you're blue, you're brown, purple, you're brown, you're black, and then the other ones is basically the red, the grandmasters or the coral belt, and that's it, right? Why you gotta put a rainbow belt in between? You're actually just telling everybody, don't look at don't look at my skill, don't look at my jiu-jitsu, look at me for who I am. Like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm making a political statement. There's no politics in jiu-jitsu. There shouldn't be a politics in jiu-jitsu. It's jiu-jitsu to me is basically, you're there, you're going to learn. You have to learn. You don't deviate and try to add something to it that does not belong. We could be progressive in regards to techniques, progressive into styles, progressive into different kinds of submissions or moves or whatever it is. Okay, but you're adding onto like certain things that label you. You want the whole world to know about you. Like, we don't care about you. All we care about is choking you out or teaching you how to choke out other people. And that's it. Right?
Yeah, I think you mentioned like the biggest thing is like every time politics gets into jiu-jitsu, it never goes the right way. It never does.
Never goes the right way. And that's the thing. You're adding politics into it. By differentiating yourself. I'm sorry. The only way that I know for sure that you could differentiate yourself in jiu-jitsu is your skill, your technique, or your knowledge, or what you can give back to the community. You're not giving back to the community if you're giving a belt like a rainbow belt. You're not giving back to the community in regards to a pink belt. Make a t-shirt. Make a t-shirt, and that people buy that more than buying a colored belt that doesn't belong in our art. And that's
I think it comes down to basically what we were even saying before. It's like back to the open mat analogy. It's how many people have you trained with that are different color skin than yours, different ethnic background, different gender, different sexual orientation, et cetera, et cetera. Did any of that matter to you? Like, ooh, like I'm rolling with this person, like, or I'm rolling with that. It doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, like we're all there to learn. We're all there to help each other out. And this is what we need more of in the world than what is going on. We need to include everybody versus separate everybody.
The thing about like in jiu-jitsu, everybody's included.
That's the best part. Yeah,
everybody's included because like I'm equally racist. I hate everybody. I'm gonna choke everybody. I'm gonna break everybody's arm. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, that's it.
It doesn't matter if you're a
Doesn't
white
matter.
arm. It doesn't matter if you're Aaron's arm.
Exactly.
No, you make perfect point, because it's just like, why put a statement on the belt? You could always make a rash guard, right?
Exactly.
Fine. You want to make a pink rash guard or a rainbow rash guard or whatever, and then that's fine. Do it, right?
Mhm.
That's fine. But the belts are the belts, right? That is the tradition. That's the art. Why are we trying to shift away from the actual art? That's not
into it's from the art into individuality.
Yeah.
You know, like that's politics. You're bringing that into it, and there shouldn't be a place for politics in jiu-jitsu. You know,
No, I agree.
That's my take. You know,
100%. Well, Michael, I want to thank you very much for coming on to our podcast today and talking to us about your experiences, your start, your beginnings, your future up ahead. Obviously, when this whole thing's over, obviously we want to get through it and get back on the mats together, to back to normal, as I say.
man.
But I want to give you the opportunity to talk to everybody else and be like, hey, if there's any sponsors you want to reach out to, or I'm going to let you close it out.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for you guys inviting me and speaking to me about my thoughts and how I feel about the COVID, all the way to my experiences. It's not that much, but I just want to give a shout out to Professor Marco Costa from Body of Four, all the crews from submissions all the way to all the affiliates of the Body of Four, Yorkdale Martial Arts. Okay, and also. Shout out to Igor for being my sponsor, Red Star, and also those people from Kat and David from Under the Gi. And there's so many people that I just want to thank. I thank my wife and my daughter, because they're like my support, and also like a shout out as well to the people in Rev MMA. That's where I'm teaching right now. I'm teaching with Joel Gerson. They have a very, very good facility up here in Vaughan. And I look forward to going back on the mats and teaching over there. So you guys, if you guys are, you guys are free and you guys want to drop in and come visit, and just send me a DM. And I'm on the way. Other than that,
Awesome.
if you guys want to like follow me on on Instagram at mouse_BJJ. And
nice.
Mike, I thank you very much, man. Seriously, ever since 2012, man. Seriously, I've known you and Aaron. You and I have been like training buddies for a long time. And
yeah, man.
We need to do that again soon. Maybe next time we'll have you on a podcast. We'll do it live and in person. Maybe not 6 feet apart, but don't matter. We'll be hopefully rolling again, and then we can record something next time we see each other in person.
Awesome. As you can see, it's getting dark in here, right?
Yeah. It's getting dark. Losing light.
I got you. But thank you very much, guys, for having me. I really enjoyed this talk.
Thank you. Well, we want to do it again soon.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you, everybody.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right. Take care.
Everybody.